they've lost to 3 ranked teams, and boy, we had a barn burner in our gym that night. And again, I really feel like 3 games ago at Grandview at our place, we really got it going. We're on a 3-game winning stretch right now, but they've all been at home. We know we're on the road. We don't have a road victory yet this year, so this conference is as good as any, but we feel we're really playing well and poised to make a run this year.
In your guard, Austin Danner out of Kansas City, averaging 18 points a game. He's getting it done.
He absolutely is. Our 3 victories prior to Thursday versus Culver, his 3 highest scoring nights this year, we won all 3 of those games, and he only showed up and had 12 points that game, and we still found a way to win. So he is playing great, but outside of him, the team has stepped up. Other guys have stepped up as well and really contributed. But he's having a great senior year. We're really needing him to be big tonight.
You got that big win over Culver Stockton Thursday. Valley went on the road and beat Central Methodist, a tough place to play. You got 2 teams feeling pretty good right now playing today.
Yeah, this is a good matchup. It'd be nice to be at home, but you got to play at both places. You would think both teams right now are playing confident. So I think we're in for a good game. At least I hope so.
All right, so there you've heard from both the coaches, and let's give you the starting lineup for the Yellow Jackets. They'll go with Carl Martin. He is a sophomore out of Blue Springs. Austin Danner, a senior out of Kansas City. Carvel Claggett, a senior out of St. Louis. Isaiah Miller, he had the tip-in bucket to win it the other night. He's out of Holstein, Iowa. And Max Francisco out of Liberty, Missouri, 6'7". For the Vikings, their starting lineup, James Lane, 6'6" senior. James is, of course, out of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Rafi Burton, the 6'7" junior from St. John's, Antigua. Andre Scott, 6'2" senior, San Antonio, Texas. Brad Hamilton, a 6'2" senior, Pittsfield, Illinois. And at the point tonight, DJ Booker out of Blue Springs, a 5'11" junior. So it'll be Lane, Burton, Scott, Hamilton, Booker against Danner, Francisco, Martin, Claggett, and Miller. And coming down from the television side to the radio side, and I guess a little live stream action, we're going to have Chaz Maddie with us today. Welcome to the floor.
Thank you, Ken. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. The women got upset today. Let's see what happens to the men. Both these teams are 1-0 in conference play, as one of these teams will have a share of the conference lead after the afternoon. The Vikings in their bright orange home uniforms, as Rafi Burton fires about a 16-footer from the right wing, misses it. Ball was tipped by Booker, no good. Francisco gets the rebound. He'll quickly give it off to Austin Danner. Danner to Francisco, turns in front of the Viking bench. That one's short. Rafi Burton, who had that defensive assignment, grabs the rebound. Booker up the right side with the left-handed dribble back to Hamilton. Hamilton off to Lane. He'll try one from the outside. Hit it. It's a 2. He was on the line. But James Lane, Vikings leading scorer, 13 points a game, and he knocks that one down to give the Vikings a quick 2-0 lead. Here's the shot from Miller that won't go. He had the game-winning bucket the other night. Off to Hamilton, quickly to Lane. He'll try the left side. He hits another one. He has 4 quick points. Normally we see James Lane in the paint. Knocks it down from the outside. Valley up 4-0. Off to a good start in the first minute and 15 seconds.
That's a good basket in transition. Valley had some numbers. A little stop about 15 feet out on the wing, and nothing but net.
Francisco gives it off to Martin. Now they'll work their right side. Here's an outside shot that won't go. Long rebound comes right at us, and I almost made an error on that. Didn't touch it.
It was a hot hit.
Almost a turnover.
That is the hot corner, apparently.
It is the hot corner here. Claggett right in front of us will inbound, and he gets it into Carl Martin. Martin, guarded by Booker, off to Miller. 4-0 Vikings in the first couple of minutes. Once again, Claggett backs away. Shot clock at 20. He's guarded by Brad Hamilton. Skip it across. Right side, Martin. Martin outside. Little move, and let's see, whistle and a foul. They're going to call Rafi Burton for the foul.
Try going through the screen.
So Rafi picks up his first. Fresh shot clock. We're 2 minutes in. Ball belongs to the Yellow Jackets. Carl Martin. Vikings play that man-to-man most of the time. Martin, little step back move, top of the key, missed it. Miller with a rebound. Back to Danner. Danner tried to drive inside. Nothing there. Gives it back out to Claggett. Claggett works the right side. Spin move, and he's going to be fouled. And that foul is going to be on Booker. And quickly, the Vikings pick up 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes and 11 seconds. And that brings Big Joe Williams, the 6'8 senior out of Texas, off the bench. He'll take Rafi Burton's place. Yellow Jackets in a gray type uniform with the gold numerals, Graceland across the chest. The Vikings in that bright orange. High post to Miller. Miller, rugged player, goes against Williams. Williams holds his ground. He kicks it off into the corner. Again, the high post, Francisco. Francisco working against Lane. Drives right side, puts it up. Lane fouled him, and that'll be a 2-shot foul. And quickly, the Vikings have picked up 3 fouls in the first 2.5 minutes.
That's a couple times I've got caught not moving their feet. Looks like they're kind of standing still, then reacting to the play and reacting a little bit too late.
So Francisco will be at the line. As a team, they shoot only 65% from the line, but Francisco knocks that one down. And Francisco from the line, he's only a 55% shooter, 21 out of 38, 22 out of 39 now, but he looked good on that first one. And misses this one. Rebound comes down to Williams. So about a 50% shooter, and he's 1 out of 2 there. 4-1 is our score. Scott to Booker. Booker puts it on the floor, goes to Lane, has all 4 of the Viking points. Back to Hamilton. Hamilton, free throw line, gets it back, fakes to 3, drives through the lane, kicks it off to Booker. Baseline, shot, bounces high in the air and goes through for 3. Booker got the bounce, got the roll, 7-1, Valley on top.
Good penetration by Lane. Drew 3 players to him, left Booker wide open on the wing.
And Booker took the shot and got it to drop. So 7-1, Vikings with the lead. Into the corner, shot is on the way. This one is no good. Lane gets that rebound after the missed shot by Martin. Vikings quickly go baseline to Andre Scott. He buries a triple. Andre Scott hits a triple. And the Vikings, as they did at CMU, off to a great start. Boy, he was wide open, but what a great pass.
It was a great pass and a great look and good court vision as they moved down the floor. Again, Valley not wasting a whole lot of time getting a shot off. They're running their offense nicely. So the movements in transition. Graceland not doing a good enough job of getting back and identifying where the shooters are.
So the Vikings up 10-1, and Jeff Hamilton has to take a quick timeout here as the Yellow Jackets 4-5 in the league. They played a tough non-con schedule, and they are 1-0 in league play. The Vikings 5-4, 1-0, but boy, what a start, off to a 10-1 start, and they forced the Yellow Jackets into an early timeout.
And they drew the 3 fouls by not moving their feet defensively, but just the opposite on the offensive end. Good movement and good identification of where people are on the floor.
So the Vikes are up 10-1, 16:36 to go. After the timeout, Carl Martin walks it in, and he hands it off to Claggett right in front of us, goes to Miller, comes out high. They work it left side. Back to Martin, who dribbles out between the circles. Vikings stay in the man-to-man. He's being guarded by Andre Scott. Claggett gives it off to Danner. Danner. Now they try to dump it inside. The Vikings chasing now. Here's the shot from the outside. Won't go. Tipped in by Francisco. The big guy went up and tipped that one in, and it's 10-3. We've played 4 minutes. Booker, the top of the key to Williams. Joe hands it to Hamilton in front of the Graceland bench. With the left-handed dribble, goes to a knee, keeps the dribble alive. Now off to Andre Scott. Scott goes baseline. Step back, won't go. Rebound, fought for, tipped by Francisco to Miller, and quickly gives it ahead to Claggett. Claggett 1-on-3, and he's going to be called for a charge.
Good positioning by Hamilton there. Identified where it was going to go, got himself set outside the arc, and took the charge.
Hamilton, a good ball player. We all talk about his outside shooting when he gets hot, but good passer, and he's not afraid to draw a charge. Good defensive player, and that time he drew the charge. So it's 10-3, Vikings by 7. That was the first foul on the Yellow Jackets. I'll keep you updated on some football going on as well in the NAIA. One of the semifinal games is over. Here's Booker. Round a screen by Rafi Burton off to Jordan Bowling out of Crane, Missouri. Bowling in for the first time, gives it to Scott. Wants to Have them reset the offense. High post, Burton. Back to Booker. Little shake and bake move. Drives, left side, whistle, foul, stops play. And let's see what they call this one on. Danner, I believe.
They got it on Danner, and I'm as confused as Danner is about that call. Looks like he tried to hand check him a little bit and whiffed entirely, and so the ball goes underneath.
Here's Jordan Bowling off to Booker. Booker gives it back to Hamilton. 3 on the way, a little strong. Rebound comes down to Andre Scott. He was falling down, put it off the glass and scored. The other way, Danner hustles into the forecourt, and he's going to be fouled by Hamilton. Hamilton thought he got the strip, but the official said, Hamilton with a foul, his first 14 foul. And guess what? His call's going to stand, not Brad Hamilton's.
Good transition by Graceland there, getting the ball out quickly and then down the left side.
Put Danner at the line. He knocks that down. I said this team coming in, not that great a free throw shooting team, 65%. Danner, he only shoots 67% from the line, but he hits that first one. Hit them both. So the Vikes 12-5 still have that lead. Booker quickly gives it to Lane. Lane off to Andre. Scott, top of the key. Finds Hamilton. Can't get Claggett off his feet. And Lane will turn from the baseline. This one won't go. And rebound comes down to Andre Scott, but they're going to say that he gave a little shove to get to that rebound, and he picks up his first and already the 15th foul.
And it's awfully early for that many fouls. 5.5 minutes in. And next free throw, Grayson's on the line for 1-1.
Here is Danner. Off to Miller. Miller gives it back to Danner. Burton comes out to guard him. Danner takes the 3, missed it. Rebound, James Lane went high for that one. Holds on to it. Now gives it ahead to Booker. Races down court. No look pass to Burton. Rafi went up, thought he was going to go for a rebound. The pass hit him right in the knee. And so the turnover, the ball comes back to the Yellow Jackets.
That was a very fast pass from that close range inside the paint.
The big guy was going up thinking he was going to try to maybe get a miss, and couldn't hang on to it. Here's free throw line. Francisco will try one. Won't go. Lane with another rebound. Off to Booker, and Chad Lance right in front of us says, let's slow it down just a bit. 12-5 Valley. In the second game of the Heart of America conference schedule. Now Booker out of control. Tries to throw it in the corner to Andre Scott and threw it right by him out of bounds.
I think that's why Chad Lance wanted to slow it down a little bit. A couple possessions where they haven't been as careful with the ball. And right there, I just threw it to no one.
Here's Brody Thompson comes in. Brody, one of the veterans on this team, the 5'11 junior. He'll work the point now. And also in for the Vikings is Kyle Hickey. And Hickey with a steal, just as we mentioned his name. Hickey right side all the way to the rack, lays it in. He had a man on his left, but no one cut off the dribble, so he just took it to the basket. The other way, here's a shot that's up and no good, and it goes out of bounds as Danner tried to return the favor, and he went up for the shot. There may have been a little contact, but he just lost it out of bounds.
And Graceland got a little fast in their transition game also. And again, once you lose control of that ball and it starts bouncing around like a pinball, you really don't know where it's going to go.
Women's game today was won by Graceland, 60-55, so Vikings with that nice win on the road Thursday, but they give it right back at home today. They're 1-1. Both teams 1-1. Vikings up here 14-5. Andre Scott to Hickey. Hickey wears number 4. Now to Williams. Work it down low. Good, strong move, and that one won't go in for Bowling, but it is tipped in. And I believe it was Joe Williams. It was. The big Texan scores 16-5. Valley by 11.
Good offensive putback. A lot of crush of bodies down there. And Williams went over everyone and put it back.
12:41 to go. Trey Satoff into the game for the Yellow Jackets. Also Larson. Larson has it at the high post. Now to Danner. Oh, and he has that shot blocked by Williams. They're going to call a tie ball. They're going to say both players had the hand on the ball at the same time. No foul, but on the block, they're going to say tie ball. Possession arrow to the Yellow Jackets. So Satoff will inbound, fires it way out high for Martin. And now whistle stops play again. 12:31 to go. And they'd reset the shot clock, so they won't do that because the ball never hit the hit the rim on the shot after the block, obviously. So they put 14, and that's always a good educated guess. There's no way anybody knows there's exactly 14 seconds on that shot clock.
I certainly don't know.
Yeah, here's the shot from the corner. It rims in and out. Offensive rebound. Put up with the left hand. That one pinballs out. Larson had it again, lost it. Picked up by Brody Thompson. Thompson pushes to Andre Scott. Right side, leans in, lays it off the glass and was fouled. And the Vikings are really rolling offensively.
And again, Graceland getting caught in defensive transition, not getting back and not getting position, and not even really stopping the ball in the case of that drive.
Andre Scott was a Division II junior college All-American at Wentworth, and he is really starting to get it going offensively. And now a timeout is taken by the Yellow Jackets, as the foul was on Tim Bruner, by the way, and it's now 19-5, and Jeff Douglas slams the clipboard down to our right, as he is not happy about that. While we have just a moment, we'll tell you on the NAIA football scores today that Southern Oregon in the third quarter leads St. Xavier 27-17. And how about this one in the game, the Morningside and Marion. Marion won it 2 years ago. They met in the championship game. Marion, Indiana went to Sioux City to play Morningside and won 41-21. And that's the team that just pretty much took it to the Vikings. So Marion must really be playing well right now as they win that one. And again, on the other game, it is Southern Oregon leading St. Xavier 27-17. And they are like number 7 and number 8. Well, check that. That game is now in the third quarter. And as my update, Southern Oregon is up 41-17. So it looks like it's going to be number 7 and number 8 seed going in, playing for the NAIA championship. Those teams can score some points now. So that's the way that's gonna work out.
I'm shocked that Morningside got held at 21 points.
They had 21-14 at the half, and didn't score again.
In the second half.
And the Wager, their real good running back, ended up with about 170 yards rushing, but Marion just put it to him. Here's Danner at the top of the key. Danner drives through traffic, kicks it off, baseline, shot up, good kick out, and Bruner hits the shot. I was kidding. Denny Honold texted me. Denny, of course, defense coordinator at Robert Morrison. They beat Marion 20-7 earlier this year. So I texted him. I said, I guess you should be in the championship game then. And he kind of, he's feeling good about that.
He probably does feel very good about that. To hold a team like Marion down to, 7 points you said?
Yep, and they scored late. It's 20-0 until late in the game. And they scored 41 on Morningside today, and they're back in the championship game. Here's Hamilton, baseline jumper, got it. His first two. On the inbounds pass, got it from Brody Thompson, came off a screen and scored. Vikes put some pressure on in the backcourt, leading 21-7. Quickly ahead, Sadoff will try one. That's long. Rebound, Andre Scott. Scott is going to bring it up by himself, left side. Around the screen by Crane, top of the key, Brody Thompson. Thompson drives right side. He's going to take it all the way to the rack. Goes underneath to Bowling, puts up the shot. It won't go, but he's fouled. He's a big, strong kid. When he gets it on a low block, he is going to get that ball to the rim.
And Bowling just grabbed it with both hands and went up as hard as he possibly could, knowing there were 3 black shirts around him to try to block the ball. Somebody
was going to foul him, and that somebody was Blake Larson, who's picked up his second foul. Let's see if Jordan can knock this down. He can. Big guy out of Crane, Missouri. Hits his first free throw. The Vikes are 2 out of 2 from the line. Look at this, 22-7 with 11:21 to go in the first half. Back into the game for the Yellow Jackets, Carvel Claggett. Next one is on the way, and Bowling rattles this one around, can't get it, and over the top, Joe Williams. Yeah, tried to get that rebound. He was over the top of Isaiah Miller.
Just a little bit over-aggressive on that rebound attempt.
We'll have the women's scores for you when we get a chance here. Mizzou was trailing 7-0 the last I checked, late first quarter.
14-0 last I checked, and Shane Ray had been ejected for targeting.
Ooh, ouch. So 14-0. And then did the targeting penalty hold up?
Yes.
Okay.
He's done.
He is done. That's a big blow to the Tigers. Here's Claggett. Gives it off to Martin. Guarded there by Jake Fletcher, who's checked in. Where's number 12? Jake gives it off to Claggett. Now Claggett for three, top of the key, buries it. Good shot, good look. Claggett squared up, make it 22-10, 10:45 to go.
And that's the best look Graceland's had at the basket. We're almost 10 minutes into the game.
Here's Booker, off to Hamilton, fakes the three. Sadoff doesn't leave his feet. Joe Williams gives it to Boldy. Head and shoulder fake, nothing doing there. Kicks it back out, 17 on the shot clock. As they're working now to Fletcher. Fletcher in a little trouble. He's used the dribble and finds Hamilton. 10 on the shot clock now. And Hamilton will have to go to work. 6, 5, 4, around the screen. Drives left side, puts it up, missed it, and the ball never hit the rim. Offensive rebound came down to Bowling, but that ball never hit the rim, so it's a shot clock violation. Lane and Burton will come back in.
And the possession really kind of stalled out up here in the corner when the dribble was picked up, and there's really nowhere to go, and no help came toward him until the very end.
Vikings turn it over, and the Yellow Jackets trying to slowly climb back in. They were down 22-7. Now it's 22-10. As Martin working against Booker. Brings it up the right side. Still with the dribble with the left hand. Brings it back to the middle of the floor. Stops, kicks it back right wing to Sadoff underneath. Miller, the shot is blocked by Burton. Miller hits the deck. Burton with a block, and Jeff Hamilton wanted a foul, didn't get it. Hamilton off to Lane. High arching shot, good, and Lane is 3 for 3 from outside the arc, or 3 for 4 from outside the arc. It's 24-10 now. They put the basket on the wrong side. They gave it to the Yellow Jackets. Sadoff off to Francisco. Francisco leaves it to Claggett. Claggett baseline cut off by Fletcher. Now they've got 24-13. It should be 24-10. That's the score. Now they've got it right. And here's Martin. Martin into the corner. 6 on the shot clock and a double dribble. Boy, that was a good defensive possession by the Vikings there.
A little bit of indecision on Graceland on Sadoff and really couldn't decide on where he wanted to go with the ball.
We have some women's scores. We'll pass those along as we go to the next opportunity. 24-10 Valley. And now an offensive foul away from the ball. And they're going to call it on whom? Hamilton.
Nope. Hamilton?
Or Williams. Since Williams not even out there. It's going to be on Hamilton. Hamilton said he used the forearm to push off away from the ball. So 24-10, 8:56 and counting in the first half. Yellow Jackets bring it across the timeline. That's Martin. Still with that dribble. A little quick guard. Goes baseline. Now he'll pull up for the jumper. Won't go. Rebound Fletcher. Vikings up by 14 with the ball. Fletcher. The left-handed dribble. Jake goes low block to Rafi. Tried to go for the slam. And he had the shot blocked but was fouled. Got his own rebound, but he was fouled. And it looks like the foul's on Francisco, his first. And that is team foul number 6 on the Yellow Jackets. Well, if Rafi was going to dunk that one, he was going to have to really stretch out. He was a good 7-8 feet away.
I was going to say, he started off very far away, and I think that's why Francisco fouled him underneath.
Rav's free throw's good. His first point. Rafi averages 12.9 points a game. And the 6'7 junior out of St. John's Antigua has his first point. Rafi Alberton. There's number 44 and gets both free throws. Good-looking free throws for the big guy. And Valley up by 16. That is their largest lead of the game. They had a 15-point lead earlier. 8:29 to go. They want to keep it going here. As Martin working against Fletcher, or rather Brody Thompson. Now they work at baseline, double team, so Martin dribbles out of that, kicks it off into the corner. There's a 3 on the way, and it's good. That was Danner getting it to Martin, and Martin hit the triple to make it 26-13. And a foul, a hand check foul in backcourt on Carl Martin against Brody Thompson. And that's 1-1 time. So both teams in the bonus. Remember, the Vikings gave up 4 fouls very early in this game.
They had 5 fouls, 5.5 minutes in. And one picked up 2 in the last 6 minutes.
They've kind of settled down a little bit. Here's Brody. 1-1, and this one off the front of the rim, no good. Williams had his hands on it for a moment, but couldn't come down with it. 26-13, 8 minutes to go. Claggett races into the forecourt, and now a hand check and foul is going to be on Brody Thompson. They're going to call this one close on those hand checks. Marcus Daniels will come in, replacing Andre Scott. First action, Marcus. We didn't see him in the game at CMU the other night. At the free throw line, Carvel Claggett. Free throw, good. You know, some people were talking about that 20-point lead getting away the other night in college basketball with a 35-second clock. Good three-point shooters. A 20-point lead isn't much anymore.
And a lot of teams try to run up-tempo offenses, so they get a lot of possessions. And how many points per possession can you get? When we try to crank out 2 possessions per minute, comebacks are pretty easily made.
Knock down a couple threes, miss a couple shots. Next thing you know, that 20's down to 10. And here's a bad pass, baseline from Fletcher, and that one was picked off by Danner. So the Yellow Jackets down within 11. Baseline shot, no good. Miller fights for the rebound, can't come up with it. Big Joe Williams does. Gives it off to Fletcher. Fletcher brings it up the right side. Top of the key, looks in for Williams, not there. Back out Brody Thompson. Brody hands it off to Fletcher. Whistle again away from the play, and another offensive foul. And this one's going to be called on Joe Williams. On the low block, fighting for position. That's his second. We'll walk the other way and shoot. 26-15, 7:26 to go, so Williams will come out. Bowling's back into the contest.
That has to be the 4th offensive foul.
I think so, yeah. And none of them, the contact, by the way, away from the ball. Here's Martin. Vikings stay in their man-to-man defense. Martin still with a dribble, now goes to Miller. Miller works on Bowling. Bowling blocks the shot, but it comes out to Martin, who hands to Claggett. And let's see, the shot never hit the rim, so we're going to have to reset the shot clock here. 10. The block shot, no rim, so we'll see where they're going to put 10. And again, I'm sure that was very scientific. It looks good though. You can't say 25. You just say 10 or 9, or I'd always go 11 or 13, something that, you know.
I'm partial to odd numbers.
Yeah, that would look good. Here's Claggett, long three off the heel of the rim. Jordan Bowling with a rebound. Boy, the Vikings had that lane protected that time. Brody Thompson to Fletcher. Bowling says, I'll try a line drive three off the front of the rim. Tipped up, no good. Ooh, Lane almost had the tip in. Here comes Martin on the run. Puts it up, blocked by Bowling, and he grabs it. He went right at Jordan Bowling. Bowling went straight up, got the block, and grabbed the ball. Nice play. Behind the back pass, underneath to James Lane, and the bucket is good. And behind the back pass, assist to Brody Thompson. 28-15. Good thing that worked. If it doesn't work, Chad Lance is all over him. But the behind the back pass worked. Here's Claggett working against Fletcher, goes baseline. Little high arching shot, little teardrop from the baseline is good. And now we're going to have a foul on Miller. The basket will count, I believe, by Claggett. And then Miller picked up the foul. Throwing an elbow.
A little over-aggressive on the rebound try, and then back tangled up.
Marcus Daniels.
Both players spilled.
Marcus Daniels in just for a moment. He's back out. Brody Thompson goes to the line. That's the 8th team foul on the Yellow Jackets. The Vikings have 9, 6:08 to go. Booker will come back in as the high arching free throw by Thompson is good. He has his first point. Brody, not much of a scorer for this team, just averages less than half a point a game. Nice defender, does a good job when he's on the floor, distributing the basketball. And he gets them both. So he can tell everyone tonight he had about 4 times his average in this game.
And he did it with no time coming off.
Yeah, no time coming off the clock. 30-17, a 13-point lead. Claggett, top of the key. Swings it around to Danner. Now they'll work at baseline. Spike's doing a good job playing some zone.
Right,
and then the baseline shot is no good. Rebound comes down to Booker. The Vikes playing some zone. They get it. Booker goes coast to coast. Somehow slipped that right-handed layup right under the armpit of one of the defenders, and it went in.
And
good
no
job.
one from Graceland stepped up to stop the ball.
Yep, he just took it coast to coast, and it's 32-17. The Vikes are beating the Yellow Jackets down the floor. Francisco at the high post. Turns. Works on Lane, and Fletcher takes it from him. 2-on-1. Here comes Fletcher. Now it's a 3-on-1 break. Back to Bolden. Right-handed layup is good. The Vikings had 4 orange jerseys on that break.
That was like a jailbreak. It was just stampede down the floor. No one from Graceland back except for one person. He got himself too deep.
And Bowling got the bucket. Now all of a sudden it's a 17-point lead. That becomes the largest lead the Vikings have. This zone is really working for Valley. They are really working out of this zone. Here's Danner. Goes to the high post, Francisco. Leaves Claggett open on the wing. He can't hit. Rebound. Andre Scott pushes to Booker. Booker has Fletcher on the wing. Gets it to him. That one won't go, but Bowling comes right down the middle to lay it in. Nobody put a body on big number 40. He just came down the middle, got the rebound, laid it in.
And Grayson got caught standing, watching the play on the defensive end. Instead of even going out to challenge the shot, prepared for the rebound, stood, watched it go up and in, and then Bowling came through with no one between him and the bucket.
Wow, and another timeout by Jeff Hamilton, and he is not happy. I can't blame him right now because I know it's a long bus trip, but right now the Vikings are just out hustling the Yellow Jackets, and Jeff doesn't like that. He's a good coach, and he doesn't like that happening to his team.
Well, it's the transition buckets in terms of offense. Valley's pushing the tempo on the offensive end. They caught those first few fouls by not moving their feet.
Yep.
Since that point in time, they've done an outstanding job of moving their feet, getting themselves in position, and the zone, working off the man-to-man. Graceland hasn't shown ability to hit any outside shots so far. I think one good look they've had. So why not go to the zone, make them shoot it from outside, because they're not getting good looks anyway, and they haven't shown an ability to hit that shot.
All right, here's it. Well, we'll go over all the women's scores when we get a chance, but Benedictine won today. They beat Avila, and Evangel was a winner today over Peru State. Mid-American Nazarene won easily at Culver, and the Mid-American Nazarene going to be a very good ball club again this year. Graceland won here, of course, as we mentioned. And in the final game of the day, Baker knocked off Central Methodist 55-43. So CMU starting off the season 0-2. We'll talk a little bit more about those. 4:25 to go, 36-17, a 19-point advantage for Valley, and now a travel. So the phone line's out. Go ahead.
Wait, Jamie. Booker up top. Out to Hick to Lane. Bowling underneath, gets fouled by Miller. And he'll go to the line and shoot two. Nice
the Stretch Internet
pass.
Broadcast Studio. Please enter your
Booker
4-digit code
Bowling,
now.
and he'll go to the line to shoot two. 36,
Your code has been
17.
accepted. Your broadcast will begin in 5 seconds.
In the half.
Good job. All right, we lost our Stretch connection. We stayed on for the live stream, so you folks who were watching wondering what was going on, we're getting our audio back. And Bowling hits the free throw, and all of a sudden it's a 20-point game, 37-17. And Bowling will have another one. How about this young man coming off the bench? 7 points, and wow, it is a 38-17 lead. What a half for Missouri Valley. 4:05 to go.
Offensive pressure, good defensive pressure, and good transition. And they've maintained the intensity throughout the course of the half.
Tim Bruner will inbound it. I apologize, you folks who are listening. We lost you for just a moment, but we're back with you. Of course, you watching on the live stream. Glad to have you with us as well this afternoon as the Vikings are dominating here. Austin Harper into the game, gives it to Claggett. There's a pass underneath. They get this one inside. They miss the shot. Harper puts it up and in. or rather Sadoff. Number 3, Trey Sadoff gets the bucket as he battled for that offensive rebound, and he was fouled by Jordan Bowling. That's the first on Jordan, and a chance for a three-point play by Trey Sadoff.
A lot of hands in orange shirts got their hands on the ball, but none of them could corral it in. And Sadoff went up and fought hard for the rebound and put it back up.
So Sadoff gets the three-point play, and it's 38-20. Marcus Daniels in the ball game. Gives it off to Hickey, Kyle Hickey. Hickey way out high with the dribble, now off to Booker. Booker gives it back to Marcus Daniels. 17 seconds to go on the shot clock. Booker around a screen by Bowling. Gives it off to Daniels. Daniels, free throw line. Shot clock at 9. They're still way out by the timeline as Booker's going to have to go to work. 4 seconds, drives inside, flips it up. It won't go. Tipped up, no good. And finally, ball pulled out of there by Bruce Larson. Now the Vikings take it away as Marcus Daniels steals it at midcourt. Good defense by the Yellow Jackets, and they throw it away.
And yeah, it was not even a good pass. The look was the pass itself was short, and the look wasn't even that good. It was never open.
Marcus Daniels back to the top of the key. Gives it off to Booker. Booker. Bounce pass back to Daniels. He'll spring for a three. Won't go. Hickey over the back with a foul. You could see that one come as he went for the offensive rebound, and he just went crashing into one of the Yellow Jackets. And Andre Scott will come back in. So will Jake Fletcher, and so will Brody Thompson.
And you talked about how 20-point leads can evaporate over aggressive fouls when there really wasn't even a chance at the rebound for Hickey.
Yeah.
Puts Graceland on the line for 2 shots guaranteed now. So, they're in the double bonus, and no time comes off the clock.
Austin Harper will be at the free throw line. Doesn't get a lot of minutes for this team. But he has a couple of free throws here, and he hits the first one. So Harper's in the scorebook. And Harper is out of Gilbert, Arizona. Phoenix area. Second free throw is good, so nice job by the young man, the 6-foot junior. It's 38-22. The lead is down to 16. 2:30 to go. Vikes will have the lead at the half. What will it be? Off to Andre Scott. Scott leaves it off to Fletcher. Fakes the three. Underneath. Nice pass. Head and shoulder fake by Bowling. And he will go to the line to shoot 2. Nice job. And a nice pass by, I believe that was for the Vikings. I have to check and see who that was with that pass. T.J. Williams. Ooh, this one rims in and out by Bowling. But T.J. Williams getting some playing time. Made a nice entry pass there. Let's see if Jordan can knock this one down. Second free throw on the way. Rattles this one off. No good. So 0 for 2, and he's 3 for 5 on the night, and the lead remains 16 with 2:20 to go in this first half. Claggett dribbles between the legs right in front of us. Now brings it back to the middle of the floor. Whistle and a foul away from the ball. Or going to call Bowling again. I'm going to call this one on T.J. Williams. So the foul's mounting up, and that, again, puts the Yellow Jackets to the free throw line with no time coming off the clock.
No time coming off the clock. And a chance for 2 points with nothing going on.
First free throw is no good by Blake Larson. Larson will have another one. Second one on the way. He got 1 out of 2, did Larson, to make it 38-23, 15-point game. Brody Thompson gives it to Jordan Bowling, who hands it off to Andre Scott. To Fletcher, dribbles to the outside, hands it in the corner to Bowling, back out front. Vikings working against his own defense here. Underneath to Jordan Bowling, strong move, kicks it across the lane to Brody Thompson, tries to get it back to Bowling. The ball is tipped by Blake and Blake Larson, taken away by the Yellow Jackets. Now a 3 on the way, won't go. And Sadoff fights for the loose ball, dives to the floor, can't come up with it. Jordan Bowling has it. Leaves it to Andre Scott. Scott wants to run. Gets it back. Scott gave it in the corner to Fletcher. Now Fletcher has it again. Underneath to Williams. Is swinging around to the left side. Shot off the glass. Rolled it around. Dropping through for Brody Thompson. He has 4 points now. And it's 40-23. Lead back to 17.
That was a much better offensive possession for Valley.
Larson in the lane. Scores.
The time before down the lane, Thompson tried to get too cute, make an inside pass, jumping off the baseline and couldn't get it through. And then Graceland on the other end, running the floor, took way too quick of a shot, and they had no one underneath to get a rebound.
40-25. Here's Williams, 15-footer, free throw line good. With the left hand, hits the deck, and he'll have a chance for the conventional three-point play. The foul is on Blake Larson, and I think that's his third. Good job by Williams. TJ hits the bucket, and he'll have a chance at a three-point play. 47 seconds to go. The left-hander too strong off the back iron. Ball loose in the corner. It was knocked away by Andre Scott. The Vikings have it. Fletcher in the lane. He goes down, gives it back to Andre. He puts up a shot. He scores, and now he's fouled. That's just pure hustle by Andre Scott. He knocked the first rebound attempt away, and then he ends up with the bucket.
There was a lot of hustle there, and actually Larson for Graceland was lucky he didn't pick up his fourth, and Brunner's lucky he didn't pick up his third.
Yeah. Foul is on, going to be called on Brunner. 44-25 could make this a 20-point ball game. Free throw on the way, and boy, the Vikes can't stand success at the line. They missed that one, but still up by 19 with 30 seconds to go. About a second difference with the game clock and the shot clock. So Claggett way out by the timeline. Tries to get around. Brody Thompson kicks the ball out of bounds. And let's see, did the Vikings touch it? They did.
Oh.
I didn't think so.
No,
I thought that ball went
out of bounds.
Right off of Claggett's foot. I didn't think anybody touched it. Brody Thompson has a black eye. That came in the game down in Northeast Louisiana. Took an elbow in that game. So 16 on the shot clock, 18.2 on the game clock. Sadoff will inbound. Let's see if they can take advantage of this break. They don't get the shot, however, working underneath the Brunner. He puts it up off the glass, won't go, and he's fouled, and that foul's going to be called on Bowling. And let's see. That will send, with 10.8 seconds to the line, that will send Tim Brunner to the free throw line. 44-25. Free throw is good. And he has 3 points. Boy, an impressive first half by Valley, though. Putting up 44 points. Graceland averages 81 points a game. So Valley keeping them well beyond, below their average. Second free throw, Brunner, no good. Rebound, Hickey. Vikings have a chance, but they have to hustle. 5 seconds. Here's Marcus Daniels. Takes it baseline, scoop shot, he got it. He went baseline. Nobody cut off the baseline move by Marcus Daniels, and he just laid it in. How about that?
And again, Grayson doesn't step up and stop the ball.
And that's all there simply was to that. And Marcus Daniels gets the bucket, and the Vikings are up by 20 at the break, 46-26. Let's take a break. We'll be back with the scoring and more at the half.
Who? Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cool time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Well, Tim Dixon joins us for a few moments, the women's coach. And, Tim, I know 60 to 55 loss to Graceland. Since that final buzzer, you've probably been going over these stats and wondering what if as many times as possible. But tough loss today.
Yeah, you know it is. It's one of the ones that I think that kind of got away from us. And, you know, the kids played great. I think this loss is more on me. I don't think I really had them prepared as well as I probably should have. But, you know, you look at the stats, and we hold them to 32% and 22% from three. And, you know, we get more steals. We force them into turnovers. And, you know, and really what it comes down to, the glaring one, is we just didn't rebound. And they out-rebounded us by 20. And, you know, it's kind of our Achilles heel this year. And you know, it's just they need to take a little more better angles, I think, to rebound. And if we do that, we'll be fine. But, you know, like I say, defensively, you know, you expect to win if you hold someone to 32% overall.
Yeah, they had 50 rebounds to your 30 and 19 offensive rebounds. That's probably the glaring stat as far as what I look at the score sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, you give someone 19 extra shots at the basket, basically, it makes you pay. And so, you know, I mean, hats off to them. They played really well, and they hit some shots there kind of at the end that made a big difference. From a runner in the lane, I think, late. Kind of hurt us, and you know, but you know, we battled back. I think we were only down 4 with a little less than a minute, and we just couldn't make the bucket.
Yeah, you're right, and I think your team really, as you said, battled back down by 9, had a 3, and you had Talea had a wide open shot, good shot. You can't complain about the shot. You told me the other night, if your gals get open threes, go ahead and take them.
Yeah,
and she's one of your best offensive players, and she had a wide open 3, just didn't go down. But you know, this Graceland team, they've lost 6 in a row, but I don't care if they're. That was a pretty good ball.
They're a good team. I told our team that I was really worried about it, just because they are a good team, and I can't figure out how they lost. They got some kids that can attack the basket. They got some kids that can play inside and out that are about 5'11", and it was a tough matchup for our posts. I mean, so we struggled a little bit, and you know, like I say, hats off to them. They really did well.
Now, other scores today. We go to Mid-America Nazarene next Saturday. They're 2-0 now. They went to Culver and won 88-64. So they lost some of those kids from that very fine team last year, but I know they still have the one Balcom girl. They still have a pretty good team. They're 2-0. They'll be tough at home.
Yeah, they will, and we'll just, you know, we'll prepare and have a really good scout ready, and we'll come in and see maybe if we can pull off another upset. I mean, it seems like our kids play really well when it's against teams that we aren't supposed to win against, and then maybe teams that we should be beating. We kind of have a little bit of a letdown, but you know, Mid-America's good. Looking forward to that one. My first trip there, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, Coach. Thanks for stopping by. Let's get another road win next Saturday.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
All right, Tim Dixon joins us. We'll be back, and Chaz and I will go over the scoring and talk more about what's happening in the league today as far as the women's side in just a moment.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Students, when you hear the reason or reasons for your absences throughout the years, please exit the auditorium without your high school diploma. Once you've exited, remove your cap and gown and proceed into the unknown. Too tired. Family trip. Part-time job. Helping around the house. Sick day. Starting the holidays early. Just because.
Starting in the 6th grade, students who miss 18 days or more of school in a year for any reason will fall behind and risk not graduating high school. How many days of school has your child missed this year? Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Let's take a look at the scoring of this first half. First of all, for the Vikings, leading scorer, Andre Scott had 10 points, 8 for James Lane, 5 for DJ Booker, a couple of points for Rav Burton. Brad Hamilton had a couple, Brody Thompson 4, 2 for Kyle Hickey, 2 for Marcus Daniels, got that layup right at the buzzer, a couple for TJ Williams. Jordan Bowling had 7, nice job, and Joe Williams with a bucket. The Vikings 67% from the field, 18 out of 27. But in all fairness, Chaz, some of those buckets, because they just beat the Yellow Jackets down court and got inside that lane. I'd like to see a shot chart. A lot of those baskets right inside that lane.
Well, the Vikings did an excellent job of pushing the tempo after a rebound, getting down the floor, beating Graceland back, especially the spots in and around the paint. The stat I find interesting, Graceland 26 points, 10 of those are on free throws.
Yeah,
So
wow.
they have not done well from the field at all.
24%, 7 out of 29 from the field, 2 out of 13 from beyond the arc, only 15% there, where the Vikings are 2 out of 6. So you're right, from the free throw line, that has helped them, 10 out of 13 if they weren't shooting good free throws. Turnovers, 9 for Graceland, the Vikings with 7. Let's check the rebounding, 17 total rebounds for the Yellow Jackets. For the Vikings, 20 rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds for Graceland. So Vikings up by 20, 46 to 26. They had a big lead at halftime against the CMU Eagles, and the Eagles came roaring back with the Vikings at home. Boy, if they get this one today, you talk about 2-0 and then heading to Mid-America Nazarene. And Mid-America, not the same team they've been the last couple of years. This is a heck of a good start, but you still have to get through another 20 minutes here before we talk about that.
Have to get through the next 20 minutes, and I think it's one of the things that Chad Lance will talk about is keeping up the intensity and really just focusing on finishing this game the right way, not allowing Grayson to mount any kind of a comeback. That way you have momentum going into the next game.
Let's check. I'm going to check a football. As I mentioned today earlier, the Morningside Mustangs, the team that knocked off Missouri Valley last week in football, just got whipped today by Marion. 41 to 21 was the final there. That game was in Sioux City. So Marion, they won it 2 years ago. They're playing real well. A lot about Marion. They're ranked number 7 going in. They had a couple losses. They went to Grandview, the defending national champs, and beat them on the road last Saturday in Des Moines. Then they go to Morningside with this high-powered offense, shut them down completely in the second half. It was 21-14 at the half, and they dominated the second half. And they probably will play Southern Oregon. A high-powered offense. They were ranked number 8. They went to Carroll, Montana, and won in a blizzard last week. And they are all over St. Xavier, Illinois, in the Chicago area today. So it looks like it'll be Marion and Southern Oregon for the NAIA Championship. Daytona Beach, Florida on December the 19th. Nice little flight for Southern Oregon all the way to Daytona
That is a
Beach.
long, long flight. But I'll tell you what, that should be a very exciting game featuring two very good offenses.
And if you like NAIA football, that game will be on ESPNU on Friday afternoon, December the 19th. I believe it's a 2 o'clock start. But anyway, it's on that Friday afternoon. The NAIA Championship game should be fun. When we come back, we'll take a look at the women's scores from today and see what's going on there. We'll be right back.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the 4 walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
I heard on the news about that 5-year-old who found his uncle's gun. The kid didn't know it was loaded.
I heard on the news about that 14-year-old girl who was bullied online. For like a year, she couldn't take it anymore, so she got her dad's gun from his nightstand.
I heard on the news about that guy who broke into someone's house, stole a gun from the hall closet.
He accidentally shot his cousin in the head.
She killed herself.
And later, killed the owner of the store he was trying to rob.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
And let's take a look at the women's scores from today. Benedictine knocked off Avila 54-44. So Benedictine will go to 2-0 with that win today. Mid-American Nazarene also 2-0 as they knocked off Culver 88-64 today. And they probably are the class of the league right now, even though they lost several of their seniors from a year ago. Of course, Graceland knocked off Valley today 60-55. We just talked to Coach Tim Dixon about that loss. Valley and Graceland now both 1-1 in league play. And Central Methodist lost to Baker. Baker came in as, I believe, the number 10 team, and they had lost their first game to Mid-American Nazarene. So Baker won, and CMU 0-2 early going in the league as Baker wins that one 55-43. Very low scoring at the second straight day for the CMU Eagles. And then it was Evangel making that long trip to Peru State, Nebraska. And the team from Springfield won it 79-71. So that's what happened as far as the women's games today. Well, the Vikings are back out onto the court. How's Mizzou doing? 21-3 is last time we checked?
21-3 at the half, last I checked.
All right, some of you are listening and watching, maybe from all parts of the country, but of course a lot of people here interested in that SEC championship game going on in Atlanta, and it was 21, I believe. Alabama was up 21-3 at the half. As I mentioned, it looks like I know one side of that bracket, Marion, Indiana, will be playing for the NEI football championship, and it'll be Southern Oregon, so that should be a heck of a game. That'll be coming up in Daytona Beach on the 19th of December. You know, switching gears to football for right now, and you follow a lot of football as well, you have, I don't care what level anymore, you better have some offense. Football's really turned into an offensive game at just about every level.
It has, and that's the thing about it is for a long time, all the skill players went to offensive sides, and to counter that, you saw a lot of skill players, especially with speed and agility and strength, move to the defensive side, and that kind of took over for a while. But since the spread offenses to counter the bigger offensive lines that you see, like in the Southeastern Conference, or that you see for a long time in the Big 8 and the Big 12, you use speed on the flanks to counter that size inside. And so the pace has picked up, and you see a lot more offense driving games. But defenses will catch up again, and you'll see it flip back at some point in time.
Same in the NFL. Of course, a lot of the rules in the NFL will make it for the offense to be that strong. But the defenses they'll figure out a way, and then they'll make some more changes. And you just, but people want to see points. People want to go to ball games, see points. They want to see home runs when you go to a baseball game, and they want to see points when you go to a football game.
And there's a lot of money invested in fantasy football. So, you don't want to see your quarterback go 19 for 21 for 125 yards. That just doesn't
a lot of people play fantasy football. All right, we're about ready for the second half. Jazz Maddie's going to call it for you. 46-26, Valley off to a great start. And, boy, they just really controlled things in that first 20 minutes of play. Again, their leading scorer was Andre Scott with 10, but very balanced. James Lane had 8. A bunch of, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like 11 players scored for Valley. That's what I have in that first half, and you've got to really like that if you're Chad Lance. So the Vikings trying to go 2-0 in conference play. The Yellow Jackets are 1-0 after their last second win over one of the favorites, Culver. Jeff Hamilton standing talking to his club, and I'm sure what he's telling them right now is, hey, we've got 20 minutes. Let's play. Let's go.
Win every 4-minute segment. If you're playing NCAA, there's a media timeout after every 4 minutes. Get to the 60-minute mark, win that 4-minute segment. Get to the 12-minute mark, win that 4-minute segment, and see where you go from there, and see if you can't chip away at the lead. 20 points is not insurmountable.
Not at all. All right, we're ready for the second half. Chaz Matty has the call.
And James Lane inbound to DJ Booker. He'll bring it across the timeline, back the lane. Out to the left wing. Now back up top. Back to the right wing for Booker. Booker looking for Hamilton. Hamilton just between the circles. Now kicks it back to the left side, and Andre Scott. Hamilton driving, elbow, dishes it inside to James Lane, who lays it up and in for 2. It's now a 22-point lead.
Well, that shows you what Hamilton can do. Not only a shooter, good pass. He recognized who was open, got it to Lane. Good job.
Down in the corner to Miller. That's Martin with the ball. He drives to the top. looking for somebody on the right side. Has a man, right free throw line extended. That is Austin Danner. Back up top for Claggett. Claggett calling for a pick. Gets the screen, uses it, shut off by Hamilton. Goes inside and swatted by Robbie Burton with 2 on the shot clock.
How about Rafi, man? He went up and got that, knocked it down. They don't put the curtain down on the north side. 2 seconds to shoot.
Claggett to inbound, long inbound, and the shot hits the rim, misses, and Valley gets the rebound. Booker walking across the timeline.
Good defense by Valley. They've even made the big guy, Francisco, take that long 3.
And it wasn't a particularly great look at the ball. Hamilton around a screen, throws it back, looking for Lane. Lane wasn't looking, and Scott came away with it. Burton driving, kicks it out to Booker. Booker might have gotten away with a walk, tried a fancy pass underneath. It was deflected by Miller, and now Danner driving. Danner loses it, tied up, and kicked around. Bodies everywhere, scrambling for it. Lane tries to dunk it, misses it. Gets the ball back, up and in, and no basket. They're going to call it offensive foul. Claggett drew the charge. Lane went up and after it, and no bucket. It'll be Graceland ball underneath.
How do you describe all that? You had about 8 bodies on the floor. He tried to dunk, missed it, and got the charge. At one, I bet you 8 of the 10 players on the floor were literally on the floor at one time during that sequence.
A whole lot of contact there. Chad Lance was looking for a foul. I'm sure Graceland was looking for a foul at any point in time there as well, but the one that mattered, the charge at the end, waving off the basket. Now it's Claggett. Going between the circles, kicking it right wing for Martin. Martin looking inside, not a lot there. Using a screen from Miller. Miller backs off, and good job by Hamilton to seal it off. Miller does, though, go around Burton and get it inside. He lays it up and in for 2 points for Isaiah Miller. His first 2 points of the game. 48-28 the score. We've played 2 minutes and 17 seconds in the second half. Lane out to Scott. Scott hands it off to Booker. Booker looking inside. Burton not open, and they reset the play. There it is to Burton. High. Hamilton out on the wing for 3, and it's good. Hamilton come off a screen, buries a 3, and now it's a 23-point lead for Missouri Valley.
First 3 by Brad today has 5 points.
Graceland, that's Francisco with a drive. He had an off-balance shot in the middle of the lane. Hamilton, deep 3, no good. Rebound by Hamilton, following a shot, no good. And jump ball, the ball will go to Graceland.
Well, I tell you what, though, Hamilton, that thing was out here, 20?
He was almost on our table here. Yeah. He was so far away.
And he did a good job because he followed his own shot. You hear that the time you're in first grade, and he just followed his shot and got the rebound, should have laid it in.
He tried to lay it in. There was a lane wide open for him as the sea kind of parted as people positioned themselves for the rebound, but he couldn't finish the layup. Out and out of the wing, let's set off for Graceland. He takes it to the top, hands it off to Danner. Danner driving in, dish to Francisco. Francisco bodies against Bowling and lays it up and in.
Good strong move by number 50. Good job.
Booker up top, kicks it out left wing for Hamilton. Hamilton looking in, now kicks it up top to Bowling. Bowling back to Hamilton. Dish inside. Burton couldn't handle it. And Miller comes away with it.
Rafi had pinballed off his knees and his ankles, just couldn't come up with it.
And the down thing about it is there was no one behind him.
Nobody.
Miller went for the steal. That would have been an easy layup or dunk. Miller inside, 2 bodies on him. Burton with the swat, comes away with it, dribbles it out, now hands it off to Booker. Booker up court.
Rafi blocked it, kept it in play, and dribbled it out of traffic.
And that's a key to a lot of blocks. A lot of times you'll see people throw it and the ball goes out of bounds. The other team keeps possession. That time he just grabbed it, basically with his one hand, put it in, and handed it off. Hamilton with the drive, and 1.
Yep. That's what Brad Hamilton can do. He's a good basketball player, and he drove that left side, didn't mind the contact, hit the deck, but he kept those eyes focused on that backboard. He put it off the glass, scored, chance for three.
Now, I'm going to ask, because I'm usually looking at a camera or directing basketball, that's kind of a different aspect of his game. Usually you think of Brad Hamilton, think of shots from our table or from beyond the arc. The drive and the slashing, aspect of his game. That's that new?
Seen him do that a little bit more late in the season last year and early this season. He kind of, I think he's maybe bulked up a little bit, and he really likes to get in there and mix it up. Missed the free throw, however.
And Martin comes away with the ball on the miss. He gets it back from Danner. Three-point shot missed. Set off, and it'll be Valley's ball as Bowling goes to the depths of the gym to retrieve the ball.
Yeah, they don't put that curtain down on the north side if you've been in the Burns gym so people in the balcony can watch the game. And you've got to go a long way to retrieve that ball when it goes out on that end.
Brody Thompson into the game. Kicks out to Bowling. He gets to Hickey. Now back to Bowling. Hand off to Thompson. Nice feed inside. Burton went for the jam. Didn't get to go down, but got fouled. And I think that's Francisco who drew the foul.
Boy, nice pass by Brody Thompson. A bounce pass through about 3 sets of legs. And a good, all Ravi had to do was grab it, turn, and try to dunk it. Didn't do it, but he'll shoot free throws.
I'm not quite sure how it made it through all the trees.
I'm not either.
53-30, the score as Burton misses the free throw.
In that first half, the Vikings were 8 out of 14 from the line.
And Burton was 2 for 2. Yep. Second one goes down. The lead is now 24. 54-30, 15-10 remaining in regulation. Set off left side, guarded by Hamilton. Kicks it back out to Austin Danner. Danner long pass into the corner for Carl Martin. 17 on the shot clock to Danner. Baseline now, kicked it back out. And it's Danner once again, guarded by Thompson. Entry pass denied by Burton. Graceland picks it back up. Danner, long shot with 5 on the shot clock. Rebound, tipped by Francisco. Burton gets it down, and here comes Thompson pushing. Numbers. Bowling may have gotten away with a walk, lays it up and in. It's now a 26-point lead, 56-30, with 14:26 remaining. Set off with the drive and a block on Bowling underneath the basket.
Well, I think they're going to call it. I think Sadoff may have been a little out of control, but Bowling was not set. He was moving into the play, so they're going to call the block.
It's hard to tell where his feet were positioned from here. He might have been inside the arc, so it might not have mattered.
But, once again, the Vikings beat the Yellow Jackets down the floor for an easy basket.
And the first free throw for Trey Setoff is good. And it's his 4th point of the game. 56-31 the score. And the second one goes down as well. For South. Thompson now content to walk it across the timeline. Graceland gets back and sets up in the zone. Hickey checked in. He's with the ball out to Thompson. Thompson over to the lane. Into Hamilton. Nice pass into Burton. Burton goes up strong. Couldn't finish the layup, but does get fouled. And Sadoff draws the foul. That's his 3rd.
Boy, if you're a big guy like Ravi Burton, you've got to love guys like Brad Hamilton and Brody Thompson. When they get you that ball and they get a bounce pass where you can catch it about waist high, you got to like guys like that to play with.
And the last couple of passes that have gone in as Burton makes the free throw have been with a variety where you catch it and it doesn't require much of a move. You're going up strong to the hoop.
They really put it right where he needs it, and he hits the first free throw.
And that puts immense pressure on the defense in order to respond. Either you're going to block it or you're going to foul it. And more often than not, for a pass like that and a move like that, it's going to be a foul. And Burton misses the second one. And Blake Larson pulls it down. Carl Martin being guarded by Hickey. Out now left wing. That's Austin Harper for Graceland. Out to Tim Bruner. Now baseline. Out to Sadoff. Sadoff on the drive. Burton gave it a little reach, but Sadoff takes it in and gets 2. For him, that's now, 7 points for Sadoff. Hickey with the ball in the corner for Thompson. Thompson kicks it up top for Hamilton. Hamilton to Lane. Back to Thompson to Hamilton up top. Hickey sets for 3 from the wing, short and left, and that'll go out of bounds. I'm not sure Chad Lance was entirely happy with that shot selection.
No, I don't think he liked that shot right there.
Kyle Hickey.
Especially with plenty of time on the shot clock. And you got the big lead, 23 points.
57-34, 13-10 to play. Graceland with the ball. That's Carl Martin directing traffic, being guarded by Brad Hamilton. He kicks it out to Tim Bruner. Now the ball gets back to Trey Sadoff. Sadoff inside. That is Blake Larson, who puts it up and misses it, and Hickey comes away with the ball. Back to Brody Thompson, who brings it across. Long shot, quick shot by Hamilton. And I heard right there, Lance said patience.
Yeah, you've got the big lead.
Got the big lead, and you have a shot clock. And actually, they had probably advantage inside. 2-on-1. Hickey lays it up and in, and a nice pass from Burton running the break.
How about Rafi running the break? He gets the steal, brings it to midcourt with a nice pass to Hickey.
And once again, Valley beating Graceland down the floor.
Yep. Jeff Hamilton will not be happy with that when he gets back to practice next week.
Larson feeds it baseline. That's Carl Martin. He takes it back up top. There's an Austin Harper on a drive out to Sadoff. Harper gets it back on the right wing. Inside. That shot by Bruner up and misses.
I think the rebound comes down to Larson. I think somebody undercut him a little bit, I think.
And is undercut by...
See who it was. Andre. No, Brad Hamilton.
Brad Hamilton undercut him. Hamilton's going to sit with his third foul. Hickey comes out. Burton comes out. Booker checked in. Bowling's going to check in. He's going to replace Lane. Mass substitutions for Missouri Valley, up by 25 with 11:51 to play. Inbound to Sadoff. Out to Martin on a slow pass. Martin's going to dribble the top. To Sadoff back to Martin. They're going to play catch for a second. As the shot clock ticks down 20. Into Bruner. Bruner, turnaround, short. And 4 orange shirts are there, all fighting for the ball. Bowling comes away with it. And now Andre Scott dribbles it up and across, and he hands it off to Booker.
Coach has to like that. He has to like that aggression. Go for that rebound.
Graceland in the zone. Jake Fletcher with it on the left wing. He goes around a man, kicks it off, blocked. Joe Williams' shot was blocked by Graceland, and now Graceland with numbers 1-on-2. Sadoff lays it up and in, and they beat Valley back down the floor.
Yep, Sadoff has 9 points now coming off the bench.
Booker, left wing for Jake Fletcher. Fletcher over to Scott. Scott dribbles between the circles. Right wing now for Booker. Booker around a screen to the top. Over to Fletcher. Fletcher drives, kicks to Scott, who misses, and the rebound put down by Martin. Here comes Graceland pushing once again. Sadoff drives. Booker tried to sell a charge. Didn't get anything, and timeout by Missouri Valley. Chad Lance wants to call a timeout and make sure people keep things under control and don't run themselves into a Graceland comeback.
And I like what you said, tried to draw the charge. Jeff Hamilton was begging for it as well, but you're right. Bowling was backing away all the time, and Sadoff kind of leaned in, drew some contact, flipped it up, but the official said, we're not buying that, let's play on. So that was a good no call there. And Vikings up by 23. But I was thinking Thursday night at CMU, this is about the time when CMU went on their run. Now, we're at home, and it's probably not going to happen today, but they got hot as they could be from beyond the arc, and the 22-point lead came down to 3.
Well, and it just takes a couple possessions where they don't quite go your way. You get a little careless with the ball. Fouls right now, 3 of 3 aside, about halfway through the second half. Not as big of a thing, but as fouls come into play and people make free throws without the clock, and you miss free throws, then that's how kind of comebacks gain some steam. So let's play a good timeout by Chad Lance at this point in time. First time out of the second half for either side, so why not give you guys who have been running a break and remind them patience. Take care of the ball.
Coach say, hey, Valley, we're the team that's up 23 points. Let's take care of the ball. Run some time.
And there's a difference between maintaining intensity and putting pressure on and being careless with the ball. You have to maintain possession, the integrity of every possession, but still put pressure on them. Valley inbounds. Booker with the ball to the right side. That's Fletcher. Back to Booker on top. Out to Scott left wing. Scott into Bowling. Bowling couldn't handle it off his hands, and now it's a 2-on-3 for Graceland. That's Martin out to the left baseline. A block. I believe that's Fletcher who's drawing it. And that is Valley's 4th foul overall. And it's going to go...
They'll inbound. That's always a tough call, and I don't think he did have his feet set. He was trying to get to the baseline, but it wasn't quite there.
And a good drive by Austin Harper, knowing the position wasn't set. He had the man beat and took it to him. Grayson to inbound from underneath. Long pass out to Martin. Oh. Max Francisco just took a ball off his chest at Rosanna with a thud. And as I kind of chuckle at him, he goes up and gets the offensive rebound and put back and knocks the point.
I heard that.
Down.
What was that? That was a ball hit him in the chest.
That echoed. It echoed in the gym, and it echoed off his chest, and I could hear it with the headset on. Fletcher, pass out to Booker on the left side. Out to Scott, who takes it up top and kicks it out back to Fletcher. Scott on the drive, wild shot, and he's going to get bailed out by Austin Harper on a foul. Off-balance shot it right-handed with his right shoulder toward the basket, his feet going the other way, and Harper commits a foul and was completely bailed out on that shot.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So he'll go to the line and shoot 2. 61-36, 9:28 to play. First one is good for Scott.
Andre averages 12.1 points a game, and he's at 11, so he's right there tonight.
Second shot up and in. There's his 12 points for the game. 61-38. 63. Yeah, it should be 63-38. Scoreboard. Having some issues.
Well, I think they gave that last basket to Valley, so now it's right.
All right. Pass inside. Francisco misses. Rebound by Scott. Scott pushing out to Booker. Fletcher. Lane wide open the top. Misses off right. Rebound by Larson. Out to Martin. Ahead to Sadoff. And he kicks it back to Martin, and they'll run the offense. That's Francisco out left side for Austin Harper. Harper. Now they're underneath. Kicks out right baseline for Martin. Martin to Sadoff. To Francisco. Francisco tries driving and bodies off of Burton and lays it up and in. 2 points for him. Booker across the line. Up top now. Out to Scott. Scott drives. Teardrop, no good. Burton follow, no good, and fouls it again and puts it back.
Rafi's first field goal, he now has 6 points. That's his first field goal today.
That seems rather amazing as a stat for a guy who's had a number of looks inside.
First field goal.
8 minutes to play, 63-40. Hamilton checks in. Scott checks out for the Vikings. Graceland inbound from the left side. Harper to trigger. Valley going zone right now. Look inside, nothing there. Harper, right side for Claggett. Up top for Francisco. He now gives it to Danner, who checked back in. Danner to the baseline for Claggett, who took a 3. He was short and left. And now Fletcher brings it across. Hamilton, long three, and he makes it. 66-40, 7:30 to go. And for Hamilton, that is his 10th point. And his second three-pointer. Underneath for Graceland, Max Francisco on a drive, and looks like he kind of slipped but laid it up. Did not get the bucket to fall. Foul on Ravi Burton. That is his second.
You know, I was looking at that shot chart. You're in the first half, according to this, Rafi only took 1 field goal attempt. He's taken a few more in the second half, but that was his first one he's made. And by the way, the Mizzou Tigers just scored us 21-10.
What was the number, 14? There's some people watching that game, at least that part of the game, pretty closely. I'm not quite sure if that was legal by Hamilton, but it counts. A wild pass out of bounds. It may have been deflected. It stays with Valley.
What did he do?
He kind of like scooped it up and over.
High dribble and got away with it. I think it went. I don't know what that was, but it worked.
Inbound the trigger. Out now top to Booker. Booker kicks it to the right baseline. Hamilton tries to drive. And it goes off a Graceland player. I believe it was Francisco that kicked it out. And Valley will maintain possession. 7 minutes to go. 20 on the shot clock. A 26-point lead. Booker to inbound.
Vikings going to be 2-0 in conference play, you would think. And, boy, that's a great start heading to Mid-America next Saturday.
When was the last time Valley started 2-0 in conference?
I would have to look that up. It's been a while.
Fletcher up top. To the right side for Booker. Booker fakes. Drives and was mugged inside. I think it's Harper that got him.
Right.
There were 3 arms on him.
He's going to go to the line. You missed it after the play. Rafi got the ball. He's going to go up dunking anyway. Hit the bottom of the rim, almost hyperextended his elbow.
That's one of those.
He's laughing.
It's one of those where he's missed a couple dunks.
Yeah.
So maybe just don't do that anymore. Hamilton misses a 3-point shot, and then almost compounded with a bad foul up top. No call by the refs. That's Danner on a drive, and he gets fouled by Booker on the drive.
Almost getting into a rec league type game now. The game's out 66-40. Everyone wants to show the little things now, and up and down the floor you go.
And Danner misses the first shot. In terms of fouls, I mean, it's Valley with 16 fouls. Graceland has 5. Fletcher comes out. And the second one goes in. 25-point lead, 6.5 to play in the game. It was Lane that checked in for Fletcher. Rebound by Burton, offensive rebound, put back goes in. It's now a 68-41 lead with 6:15 to play.
Hamilton missed his shot. Ravi right there again. Good job playing a good game.
Nice little floater on the baseline, the left baseline by Harper. His first field goal of the game, he has 4.
Under the 6-minute mark now. Valley up 68-43.
Booker up top. Drives. Little circus maneuver. Lays it up and in. And Graceland, again, not stopping the ball on penetration.
Wow, 27-point advantage. Woo.
That's Harper up top. Valley playing a little bit of zone look. Shot goes off and will stay with Graceland.
Yellow Jackets bring, let's see, Claggett comes back in, Sadoff checks back into the lineup.
Came back
Martin
in.
back in. Bowling in for Valley.
James Lane comes out and set off the trigger underneath. Valley going zone, that's Martin. Right wing now for Claggett. Claggett a 3, long rebound by Burton. Burton kicks it out to Scott. Lance wants him to keep the pressure up. I'm sure take care of the ball. Burton up top. to Hamilton. Hamilton being guarded by Martin. Over to Scott. Left side for Booker. Back to Scott. Underneath. Burton lays it up. No good. Rebound by Burton. No good. Bowling up. No good. Foul on the play.
Ooh. Francisco, I believe.
And they got Francisco for the foul.
Rafi missed a couple, but boy, they were battling in there. And I'll tell you, Bowling, when Jordan Bowling grabs the basketball, you're not getting it away from it.
You're not. And the last two of the last three trips, so the one shot where Booker took it in and drove it in, you know, the possession before that and this possession, if I recall, 4 offensive rebounds for Valley. So they're hitting the glass and maintaining that pressure as Bowling knocks down the free throw.
He's 4 out of 6 in the line. And how about Jordan Bowling? 10 points in this game. Rafi coming out, getting a pat from Coach Lance. Good ball game, good hustle by Robbie Burton.
Joe Williams checks in, and he's back behind the timeline as Bowling takes his second shot, knocks it down. 72-43, 4:50 to play in the contest.
You know, if we were playing a pickup game, I think I want Jordan Bowling on my team.
Just the guy who does all the dirty work inside.
And
just
rugged,
hustles.
Yep.
Speaking of Bowling, he's guarding Francisco up by the elbow. And a pass down baseline. Claggett inside. And there, a couple of guys could have been whistled for that foul as he goes up strong. No bucket. And they got it on Bowling. It's his 4th foul. And Claggett is going to go to the line for 2.
Daryl Lemire getting ready to come in for Valley, number 30.
And Claggett misses.
Lemire is a freshman out of Manor, Texas, and he's going to replace another Texan out of Fort Worth. Andre Scott had a nice ball game today.
Boy, I see a lot of bodies go in for Valley in the next couple minutes. Claggett makes the second. That is his first point of the second half. 72-44. Hamilton over to Booker. Left side for Lemire. Now kicks back inside to Williams. Williams tries the old Kareem skyhook. Blocked by Francisco. Gets it back. Tried putting it up again. Miller with some defensive pressure. And a quick shot by Trey Sadoff goes down. And it's a 25-point lead for Valley with 4 minutes to play in the game. Booker up top.
Sadoff has 12 coming off the bench. Good job for the Yellow Jackets.
No-look pass by Hamilton across on a diagonal to Booker in the corner, who makes the 3. 75-47 Valley.
Booker now double figures with 10 after that triple.
I also imagine with the new bodies coming in, you'll see Lance run a lot of his offense.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of more offensive sets instead of maybe trying to push as much. Maybe that's part of it. But defense, I'm sure he'll want to continue to emphasize as Martin knocks down a 3.
Wow, you hold his team with 50 points is all Graceland has yet with 3 minutes to go.
And again, I'd be curious to look at the final numbers.
Yeah.
It's too hard to add up right now, but the number of points they have off free throws, as Hamilton misses a 3, it kind of goes in and out. Nice save by Booker underneath to Williams. That's another hustle play. Williams lays it up and in. Valley leads 77-50.
Wow, and you're right. That's just all hustle. Williams gets the bucket, but you got to go DJ Booker on the assist there. He's coming out now. Byron Cook comes in, young man out of Fort Worth. So Coach Lance has the opportunity to empty the bench. Lance Schaefer comes in. Schaefer out of Bolivar, Missouri. So he's emptying the bench right now.
Good chance for some younger guys or some guys who don't play a whole lot to get some experience going into the conference play, or as conference play develops. Miller loses the ball underneath. You never know when experience in a game like this helps later on in the conference season. Pass out, now kick back underneath. Williams once again. Schaefer with a nice little dish to Williams. Sadoff, one man among many, and gets fouled.
Take your pick.
And they're going to call Williams for the foul.
Lemire was
Williams
there
is
as well.
confused, but it could have been. I mean, there was 5 orange shirts down there, and all of them got them.
Well, they may call that. I guess they're going to say, well, yeah.
Yeah, they got T.J. Williams.
TJ. Joe Williams is also out there, but TJ got the foul.
Sadoff knocks down the first free throw. 79-51, 2:23 to play. And Joe Williams comes out.
Valley averages 69 points a game. They're well over that. And this Graceland team averages 81 points a game. They're 30 points below that right now.
And it just has not been a good shooting day for Graceland. Haven't had a whole lot of good looks, and when they have not fallen for the Yellow Jackets.
79-52 as Sadoff gets both free throws.
Byron Cook into the game. He gets it off to Lemire. Lemire tries a pull-up three-pointer. No good. And here comes Graceland. Claggett on the run. That's a silly foul by...
Yeah, don't even foul that.
Lemire, I think.
Let him have it.
They got T.J. Williams.
Well, he's picking up some limited minutes. He's getting some stats. He has 3 fouls now.
He was beaten down the floor. I think he tried just to show underneath instead, and the contact was drawn. And Claggett, while he made the bucket, misses the free throw. Graceland comes away with it. That's Bruner, and he'll kick it out to Carl Martin. 2 minutes to play. It's a 25-point lead for the Vikings. Right corner for Bruner. Long three. He makes it. 79-57 now. Cook over to Lemire. Left side now for Schaefer. Schaefer over to Cook. Cook driving, wild shot. Williams comes up with the rebound. Loses on the floor as he went crashing down, but Byron Cook walks away with it. Cook, the freshman from Fort Worth, over to Jordan Taylor. Now to Lemire. Lemire driving, and they're going to get the body on him. The foul is on the floor. Claggett made the foul, and Lemire will go to the line for a 1-and-1.
Marcus Daniels will come in now, and he's going to replace T.J. Williams. A lot of new faces. Everybody getting in the game tonight.
It's a party on the floor.
Yep.
Lemire, freshman from Manor, Texas, up and makes the first free throw, so he'll get the second.
Boy, nice performance today by Valley.
Second shot up and in, smooth stroke by Darryl Lemire. And it's now a 24-point lead. Martin over to Claggett, into the right corner for Bruner, back to Claggett. Ooh, Lemire almost jumped the pass. And they're going to get, I believe, Schaefer. Yep. Schaefer and Miller got tied up on a screen. And Schaefer hits the scorebooks with a foul, the sophomore from Bolivar.
Well, that way you see he can tell everybody who's in the game, and he's got a record to prove it.
Well, most people, you like to play outdoor sports. You get the dirt on your uniform, you can tell you played. Yeah, the one in the foul column will do it for him. 81-58, the score, 1:03 to play. T.J. Williams checks back in, and Jordan Taylor will come off. Miller, free throw is good.
That was his first 2 points of the game.
That's Cook driving, kicking it out to Lemire. Lemire gets it. Hands off to Schaefer, gets it back, goes driving in. Can't finish the layup. Rebound to Miller. Graceland pushing. Nice feed from Claggett into Sadoff. Couldn't finish. T.J. Williams goes with it. Here comes Cook without numbers. Right side for Marcus Daniels. Couldn't make it. Rebound by Daniels. Schaefer knocks it out, but the ball's going to stay with Val. They're going to say it's off Sadoff.
And that should do it for the shot clock. 30.5 seconds remaining. Austin Danner, 18 points a game for Graceland. The Vikings held him to 3 today. All free throws.
I can't remember too many shots they took in terms of field goals. In the first half, Danner was 0 for 3. I'm hard pressed to remember more than 3 in the second half.
Chad said that's enough as he just has Cook dribbling the ball up by the timeline. Well, partner, we we got to win. You did a good job, and now you got to go work a little bit.
I have to go work a little bit. Got to record some news.
All right. Jazz Maddie joined usually behind the scenes, but with us today on the broadcast. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much.
We'll do it again.
All right.
And Jazz Maddie, of course, does most of the time, is the director of live stream, and the wonderful job he and his crew does there. Christian Walker doing that for us today, so thanks for being with us for that. Let's take a break. When we come back, the coach will join us, and we'll wrap things up.
This may sound like a typical high school basketball game being played on a Friday night in Missouri. In fact, it's a crash course in cooperation and teamwork. It's a test of dedication, determination, and drive. It's character development in action. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think about this. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students who participate in school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. At the same time, playing sports helps teach lessons not covered in the classroom. Lessons like tolerance, respect for the rules, and the importance of supporting your community. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Missouri State High School Activities Association and the Missouri Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
All right, we are back, and what a performance by the Vikings, 81-59. Chad Last joins us. Coach, I don't think before the game we expected this to happen. That was quite an effort by your bunch.
Great effort by our club, and that's what we got to have. We got to have concentrated effort, and we had some guys came in. I thought they uplifted us. I thought that they played hard. I thought they gave us some good energy, but we did it on the defensive end. I mean, you can see 59 points right there. Anytime you can come out and defend like that, you're going to put yourself in good position.
Well, what I was impressed with is how many times you beat the Yellow Jackets down the floor for easy baskets. I'd like to see a shot chart. You shot 60-some% in the first half. Reason being, most of those shots were about 2 feet from the basket.
Well, we've been really working on our guys to play a little faster and to play in transition, because obviously those are chances you can get easy baskets. And I think sometimes where our transition has been a little bit slow, and you can get a team on their heels and get to the foul line, if nothing else, if you don't make shots.
Boy, I don't know. 11, 12 guys scored today.
Yeah, it was
That's
good.
Fun when everybody gets to play
it's
like
fun.
that.
It was fun. That was fun. I hope our guys understand that it's group effort every single day. And even whether or not either you play or you don't play, there's still a group effort. And, it's just a buy-in by everybody.
Of course, we could talk about James Lane, Robbie Burton. I want to talk about Jordan Bowen. I mentioned once during the broadcast, if we had a pickup game, I want him on my team.
He's a rugged cat, boy. He's rugged.
And when he gets that ball in his hands, it's going to the rim, isn't it?
It is, and he knows he's undersized, so he really tries to use his body and get you up in the air. So
you held Austin Danner, their leading scorer, to 3 free throws.
3 free throws.
He did not have a field goal in the game. I don't remember him taking 1 or 2 shots. That's how good your defense was.
Well, hopefully we can keep hanging on there.
Coach, you go on the road, Mid-American Nazarene. You're 2-0 right now.
Correct.
And I don't remember. You probably do. I don't remember the last time we might have been 2-0 to start a conference season. Was it a few years ago, or do you remember?
I don't know when it's been. I think there's been a time, but I'm not 100% sure. But I just feel good. 1-0, 2-0. Got finals next week, so we got to keep our guys engaged and have a good week of practice and get a chance to go to Mid-America. And there will be no better Christmas gift, Q, I'll tell you that, than if we get that one.
Well, you're 50, and the stats just came out. 51% from the field for the game. You held them to 32%. This team scores 81 points a game. You held them to 59. A lot of those points came late in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, we knew that if we could get after them early, hopefully, because when teams get after us early, you kind of start searching and where do you go with the ball, and it's kind of that old heavyweight fight, whoever can get after who early, and I think our zone saved us. It allowed them to get deep into the shot clock, so our zone was good, and still got to work on some rebounding. So as a coach, you always got to find things you got to work on.
Well, you out rebounding 44-33. That doesn't look too bad either. But coach, let you go celebrate this one. 2-0 now in the conference. You're tied for first, heading into next Saturday's game in Olathe. That should be a biggie.
That's right. That's right. So I'm going to go get in here, and hopefully our guys understand that.
All right, Coach, thanks. Appreciate you coming in. Let's go to the scoring real quickly before we wrap things up. For the Yellow Jackets, Trey Sadoff on the bench, 14 points. Carvel Claggett had 10. 9 for Max Francisco, 4 for Isaiah Miller, 6 Carl Martin, 3 Austin Danner, all free throws for their leading scorer, 4 Austin Harper, and 6 for Tim Bruner. Blake Larson had 3. For the Vikings, 5 in double figures, led by Andre Scott with 12. How about Jordan Bowling, 11 points today, 10 apiece for James Lane, Robbie Burton, and Brad Hamilton. Wow, everybody scored, I think. Brody Thompson had 4. Kyle Hickey had 4. 2 for Daniels. Lemire had 2. 2 for T.J. Williams. So the Vikings, 6 for Joe Williams. The Vikings roll today, and the final score, 81-59. Women lose, men win. Hope you enjoyed the doubleheader on Stretch Internet and also on livestream.com. Next Saturday, Stretch only, audio only, from Olathe. We'll take on Mid-American Nazarene. Joe and I will be on the air at about 2 o'clock next Saturday afternoon. I'm Ken Cuiava for Chaz Maddie and also Christian Walker behind the camera today. I'm Ken Cuiava, and so long from Marshall.